are you doing today?
Hi, Victoria. I'm doing great. Lovely to see you as always, and really excited for today's content.
Yes, because we have been doing Talking Harps now for 2 years. And as we are in our third year, I was just doing a little bit of a retrospective and reflecting on some of the contents that our guest has shared with us. And I was just struck by how many inspirational moments I have got from watching our conversations and our interviews. So I want to share some of the things that have really inspired us in this journey so far.
We've had so many inspirational moments and probably far too many to mention, but just to pick a couple of favorites that come to mind as we reflect over the last years, I wanted to start with talking about Chloe and her interview, a Harp Connections interview, where she spoke about her solo album and where she got the inspiration for that. Her journey as a seafarer, really drawing from the natural environment around her. She even put birdsong into some of the pieces. She also spoke about how her daughter inspired her for the lyrics of one of her songs.
Then you came along, you saved my life. You sweet pure soul, free from strife.
And I think this is something that's really important as harp learners, that we draw from the world around us, that we have those pictures in our minds as we play. And I think that really is conveyed in the music, more than the technique, more than what we're doing, just that picture that we're sharing with the world, and that really connects with the audience. So I really thought that she did that very, very well, and that really inspired me, how influenced she was in her arranging, in her composing, in her performing by what was around her and where she was at, and how she used that to bring into her craft as a musician. How are you being inspired?
Well, I had a heart focused chat with Josh as we ring into 2022, and we talk about goal setting. And something that has always resonated with me, and Josh really make a point to say that in the conversation, is to avoid setting ourselves past fail goals and maybe put more focus in the journey and the process instead. And I just thought that is so important because for me personally, there are many songs that I would like to learn, and there are some really successful ones, and there are also moments where I feel really defeated. But when I come back to thinking about the things that I've learned during the process, or even just thinking about the fact that the song itself is not always the be all and end all, I think it makes me feel a lot more confident as a learner, and it really helps motivate me to move forward. So that was a big takeaway for me.
Yes, I think we can be so critical of our own playing and wanting to set these big lofty goals that are unattainable. So that reminder of what is appropriate is just so helpful from that conversation. That reminds me of Heather Downie's interview with you, and her interview, something that she said that she'd learned from Corrina when she was doing her album has now become part of our vocabulary between each other, where I'll say to you, this is a snapshot in time. And we just remind ourselves of that. Heather shares in her interview how she was preparing her album, and Corrina said to her, this is going to be a snapshot in time. And that helped her to go ahead and complete it. And so often I have to remind myself of that it may not be perfect, it may not be what I want it to be, whatever that is, because that's really this unattainable thing that we somehow make. But it is true to where I am right now, and that has meaning and that has value. And so I can share a snapshot in time with my journey, with my friends in harp circles or in various environments. Right now, where we're at is valid and has meaning and has beauty for where it is and can be captured. So I'm really grateful for that interview. That really changed my outlook a little bit in terms of my own playing and was so helpful.
And that's a wonderful segue into my next point, which was what Babette said in her interview, is that we should try to have a healthy relationship with our instrument. And I think that is so important because, like you said, we are so critical, and sometimes we are our worst enemy, and we got into almost a resentful relationship with our instrument when things are not going the way we would hope to see, right? And Casey Stratton also in his interview talk about doing the thing that we're passionate about and finding your tribe to share that passion. And I think that just ties in so well with what you said about having that harp circle, sharing your music and being that support network around you, sharing the passion. I think that just help us build a better environment to surround ourselves in as harp learners and musicians.
And I love the way that Carol Kappus handles that, where she makes sure that she's feeding her mind good things every day, that literally on her music stand, she has these affirmations and quotes of things that kind of negate those negative thinking and say, no, this is how you should be thinking about where you are right now. And she shared those beautifully in the episode with you and even had a free download for that people could download to see so that we can all have those quotes and use them. So that's a really practical way, not just a theoretical idea, but something that we can all do. And I just love the generosity of our guests in sharing these ideas and equipping us in our own harp learning journeys.
I think it's wonderful that even in this short conversation, we're already identifying so many good nuggets of information that our guest has shared with us. And I would love to hear what our audience has been really inspired by our guests, either in their interviews or in a half focused chat or even in a toolbox episode. What worked really well with you, what really stuck with you. We would love to hear that.
Yeah, so don't forget to tag us on Instagram or on Facebook. We love hearing from you. And go and tag the video that you found most inspiring and comment the most inspiring moments. We'd love to hear the things that resonated, like Victoria said, with you. And there's so many. We could be sitting talking all day. So let's carry on the conversation in the comments. Thank you so much. Bye, Victoria.
Bye.